Alright guys, today's video is going to be talking about the bolt pattern for these three engines. These are three styles of very common small engines for riding lawnmowers. These are all three Briggs and Strattons. And the first engine represents a single cylinder flathead or overhead valve engine. This is an overhead valve 18.5 horsepower model 31. But it's the same bolt pattern as your older 10, 11, 12 horsepower single cylinder flatheads. It's the same bolt pattern, it hasn't changed any. Now the middle engine is a Briggs and Stratton opposed twin 19.5 horsepower, and it's a different bolt pattern than the single cylinder. And the third engine is a V-twin overhead valve V-twin 20 horsepower model 40. It has the same bolt pattern as the opposed twin, but yet alone both of these are different than the single cylinder. So this is just a little bit of information to keep in mind when you're trying to change or retrofit another engine on a lawnmower that you're trying to fix up. And on certain frames that I know, Craftsman frames for one, this actually, matter of fact, all three of these engines came off Craftsman mowers, but the frames on most of the Craftsman mowers and several other brands of mowers have both bolt patterns drilled in them. That way you don't have to drill now. But I have seen some frames that just have the standard type or just the type from out in this type engine. It just depends on your make and model of your mower frame. And you can usually, as long as you get the shaft centered and the hole that goes through the frame, you can drill the holes and make them work. But it is hard to do to get everything lined up right. But I have done it before. And I'm just saying that because it can be done. If you really want an engine or really need an engine on a certain mower, you can do it. But on a lot of the newer frames, they're making them more universal, so you can mount either pattern. As far as I know, this is the only two patterns that are on riding lawnmowers. I've never ran into nothing else besides this. And this is the same for Briggs and Stratton, Tecumseh, or Kohler. They all three are interchangeable. It's all the same bolt patterns. Now I'll get a little close-up of them. You can definitely see the difference here. First off, these two over here are further apart than these two, whereas these are spaced evenly, just a square bolt pattern on both of these engines. But you can see the blocks are made different, but the bolt pattern is still the same. But the main difference is the single cylinders are made different. You see the tape measure there. I actually measured these. These are identical bolt patterns. Do the same thing. And the only other problem you may run into is fitting the engine on a mower. Like you see, the V-twin's taking up a lot more space than, say, the single cylinder. So you might have to change your hood out as well, or remove a shield or something underneath the hood to get it to fit right. And your wiring will be different. The V-twin and the single cylinder's got the same wiring harness. The opposed twin is a different wiring harness. But you should be able to modify the wiring slightly to get it to work. One major difference between the opposed twin and the other two engines on this, the opposed twin doesn't have a fuel solenoid on the carburetor. Some of them do on those, but not this particular one. And if you're going back to, say, a single cylinder, you want to change it out to, say, a 12 horsepower flathead instead of an overhead valve, your wiring will be slightly different, and it may or may not have the fuel solenoid on it, because all your older engines didn't have that. So, yeah, I just want to make a video talking about this. If you got any questions about bolt patterns or retrofitting an engine on your mower, leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.